They won't tell me why. 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent. That's today's topic. While every family story is different, I've discovered 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent. If you've been searching for answers and hearing crickets, you're not alone. As a mother, your heart breaks when your child refuses to talk with you. The disruption in your family is overwhelming and may extend even to your grandkids. You long to know why and wonder how you can fix this problem so everything can get back to normal. These questions took a toll on my heart until I took a hard look at the 3 reasons that I'll share with you today. And once you understand, you can begin to shift your perspective. Furthermore, your behavior and expectations will change, creating an open door for reconciliation. Thanks for joining me today. Find the full transcript for this episode, plus resources for women, at Estrangement, Turning Pain into Peace at beckykolb.com/73. You're listening to Estrangement, Turning Pain into Peace, a podcast and free resource for women with estranged relationships, created by me, host and coach Becky Kolb. My superpower is to help you turn your emotional pain into peace by conquering guilt and shame, rebuilding self-confidence, and developing healthy boundaries. I've dealt with estranged relationships most of my life and know both the pain and the peace. Subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's dive into today's episode. If you're like most moms who are estranged from a child, you're among the why club. Why did it happen? Why won't they tell me what caused them to abandon our family? Why? I've spoken before about changing the why to what. What is God trying to teach me in this season? And that's a great question to explore. But today, I want to spend some time with 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent. I think you'll find it helpful and discover some tips to help you move toward reconciliation. The first of 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent is they feel any conversation would lead to further conflict. Now, reflect back on the last conversation you had. How did it end? Was anger involved? How about shouting? One prevalent with me was defensiveness. One mistake you and I make as mothers is defending ourselves when we're accused, false or otherwise. Most people detest conflict. One person told me they would rather have all their teeth pulled than engage in conflict. Ouch. Your child would do whatever they could to avoid conflict too. Parenting days are over now that you have an adult child, and it's time to begin treating them as such. It's hard to let go, I know. They want to be treated as the adults they are. Kids want to be respected, whether we agree with their decisions or not. So, how can you avoid the conflict reason for silence? First, remember that your child is an adult who is worthy of respect. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but how you fight is paramount to keeping the relationship intact. Therefore, avoid any attempts to mother and prepare for a conversation as though you were talking with a friend. You may not feel like your son or daughter is a friend at the moment, but in the end, isn't that what you desire? To have a healthy relationship as friends? That begins with respect. Secondly, an open heart and mind is essential. The accusations may be false, but what they are expressing is their perception. And you know the saying that perception is reality. At least it's their reality. By staying open-minded and avoiding anger, you'll be in a position to explain what may have been a misunderstanding. By rushing to defend, you lose that opportunity, and the conversation will quickly deteriorate into unwanted conflict. And if you're guilty of the accusations, hear and accept your wrongdoing, and then sincerely apologize and seek their forgiveness. Realize they may not forgive right away, but it's essential that you follow through with this step. Thirdly, maintain emotional stability. Avoid the tendency to talk over your child. Hear them out. Make notes if needed so you can come back and address important topics. And keep a steady voice. You may feel anger rising, but control your emotions and don't raise your voice. These 3 tips will help set the stage for a healthy conversation and allay any fears your child may have about further conflict. Reason 2 is they don't fully understand themselves. They don't understand their own feelings and emotions at times. I don't know your story, but if estrangement came as a result of a divorce, your child may have stuffed their feelings. When they don't understand what's going on within themselves, it's easy to lash out and blame someone else. I found that to be true in my own divorce situation. If you haven't read my story, you can find it on my website at beckykolb.com/Meet Becky. Sons are more prone to this as they don't often get the help they need to deal with emotional baggage. Daughters and women in general talk more openly about their feelings than men. One of the best gifts you can give your child in this situation is time. Let them know you understand that they have unresolved feelings and that you love them and you're there for them if they want to talk. But don't force it. Another issue could be a son-in-law or daughter-in-law that may be undermining you. Unless danger is at stake, your child's loyalty is to their spouse, and any effort you make to get involved will not go well. One of the top 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent is interference by a parent into their marriage or parenting styles. Here are some tips to help you when that's the issue. Do not speak ill of your child's spouse. Do not undermine their parenting styles, even if you disagree with them. Do your best to find common ground and compliment those things that are positive and affirming. Love them and respect their choices. You don't have to agree, but respect is essential. And finally, understand that you may not know all that's going on in their life. Marital conflict of their own may be fueling their silence. Issues at work, finances. These are real-life problems that your kid may be facing, and if you're estranged, you won't be the first person they'll want to speak with. Praying that they'll have a trusted person where they can confide freely and get support is something you can do. Reason number 3 is that silence feels safer than vulnerability. Silence is golden, some may say, but in estrangement, just the opposite is true. Family of origin enters into the communication dynamics. I grew up in an era where parents didn't tell their kids a lot of things. Certain topics were taboo. One mention of such a topic would warrant a death stare. You know what I'm talking about. Today, our culture is vastly different. Some say that parents talk with their kids about too much, and those things might be better left unsaid. Vulnerability is one of 3 reasons estranged kids stay silent. Opening up, especially to a parent, feels scary. In most marriages, parenting styles differ between mother and father. 2 people from diverse backgrounds and sometimes even cultures get married and blend their personalities and values. Enter kids who are also uniquely created and gifted, and not all respond similarly to life in general. Back to the divorce situation. How amicable was the divorce? Mine was not at all. Kids get caught in the middle, and it affects them deeply. They learn that silence is safer to them than being vulnerable about what they're feeling inside. That carries into their adult life, marriage, and role as a parent. And it reflects back to you and how they interact with you now that they're an adult. Reflecting on the environment your kid and their spouse lived with growing up will provide a perspective you may not have considered. Check the tendency to judge or criticize and be open to real gut-wrenching conversations with love and tenderness. Affirm your child who resists vulnerability. If this is one of the 3 reasons your estranged kid doesn't talk with you, then here are some things you can do. Affirm your love for them, regardless of what they've done or said. If your family life created places in the past where your kid may not have felt safe to express themselves, let them know that you are truly sorry and that it's in the past and won't be repeated. Depending on what that situation looked like, therapy may be needed to work through, and if they're an adult, it will be up to them to seek that therapy. Encourage them to get the help they need. Create a safe place in your heart and home where your child can be open and honest about their feelings. Listen and resist any urges to interrupt or defend. I recall one specific time when my daughter reached out after an exceptionally long time of separation. She talked for over an hour, and I barely said 4 words. I listened, and afterwards I told her that God was in that conversation, because for the first time, I heard not only with my ears, but also with my heart. It was life-changing. Now, there are other reasons your kid may stay silent, but these will fit into your estranged relationship as one of the top 3. As said before, perception is reality. And as the mother of an estranged kid, it's important for you to check your defensiveness at the door, along with attitudes, blame, guilt, and raised voice. I promise if you work on these 3, you'll eventually see improvement in your estranged relationship and with others too. Now, are you ready to work on your heart? I created a free ebook at beckykolb.com/guide to help you as you begin to work on your own heart in preparation for having discussions with your estranged kid. It's a beautiful place to explore your own emotions and get yourself in check so that you're prepared for healthy discussion. And if you need encouragement or more support, reach out to me at beckykolb.com/consultation. Reconciliation and restoration are so important. I'm here for you and always praying for my listeners who are battling the emotions of estrangement. Until next time, work to address one of the 3 reasons your estranged kid stays silent. And remember, you are an amazing woman, uniquely created by God. Thanks for listening to Estrangement, Turning Pain into Peace. Estrangement is a difficult topic for many, and I applaud you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out earlier episodes too, and please share this with others who may need to hear. And if you're getting value, I would appreciate a short review.